Hi, Kehinde Muraina.
Ah,
Like, it's such an honor to host you today. Like,
thank you
I've
so
been
much.
looking forward to this session because I've always been seeing you, especially, talk about human-centered design and all of that.
Okay.
I know that
Yeah.
you're such a fantastic, like a super entrepreneur. Like, you're literally almost everywhere doing one thing or the other. Is it in
I
tech,
try.
health, food, everything?
Yeah. Yes. I try.
So before we start,
Okay.
we're just going to have a little activity.
Okay.
Um, yes,
Mm.
and you're just going to tell me two truths and a lie about you.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
but I have to figure
truth.
out which one is a lie.
Okay. So,
What do you do?
hmm. I'm coming. Real.
This better
Okay.
be good.
One is I like sugarcane. Two
Hmm.
is that I hate reading. Then three is I'm ambidextrous. So which is a lie?
You love sugar cane.
Yeah, I don't like sugarcane. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So, I'm going to skip mine. I don't need to do mine, but I'm just going to
Okay, no
jump
problem.
in and I'm just going to ask you. So,
Hmm.
before we get to know you,
Okay.
yeah, like what actually inspired you to go into entrepreneurship generally? Like,
Ah, okay. So it's a storyline. 2015, I was still in medical school then, and I come from a family where I really like get pocket money that is sufficient for a month. So during the festive period of 2014, I went on came. So when I was coming back, because I stay in Abuja, I don't take I don't take buses because of the 8 hours difference. Like, yeah, it really rattles me. So I take flight. But this time, my dad said I should take bus. I was like, okay. So normally he would have sent in some money before I leave home, but he didn't send me money. Just give me like 10K and just like, okay, just take this one. So like I will send you money, I'll send you money, send you money. However, I didn't know that there was recession. He didn't even tell me. I didn't even know. So when I got to school, I say, I had money like 10K, and I was expecting like money again. I was like, I blew that 10K 1 week. So after 1 week, I was calling home like, how are you doing? How's everything? But normally my dad would say, sorry, I've not sent the money. I've sent the money. But he didn't send it. I knew that there was something wrong at home. So long story short, I was broke. So I just told myself that it's like money is not going to come anytime soon. Then what was the thing I could do to raise money? And if you know, in College of Medicine, Alexander Brown Hall, medical students don't have time to cook. So you get to eat in the
mm,
cafeteria. So I said to myself, I had food stuff. And being from a family of all guys, mom taught me how to cook very well. I think, let us try out some cooking. So I cooked like a large portion of rice one day after class. I was playing. I said, and I put on my WhatsApp, like, guys, come and eat. So when it came the end, like, it's good night. Okay. He's good. It can actually pay like 20 naira for a plate, right? So that's how I started. And I cooked in
mm,
that days, packaged it and gave it to friends who would have actually pay. Normally that pack of rice would be like say 500 naira, but I just make subsidized, so like 200 naira with a piece of chicken. Then I started making some money and all. So that was my journey through school and
oh
through the
wow.
yeah. So that was like a push, and recession also made it happen.
Okay. Oh, that's actually really great. So, but before that, do you also think there could have been like an underlying, you know how they say leaders are born, or you know how they're always having that argument of whether somebody is born or the
Yeah.
talent is. grown or something?
Yeah.
Did you think it's something that was always inside
No, no, no,
you?
it was not there. No, 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 it was not there. It was never there. I don't think I've ever sold anything, or I don't think because there was no need. I remember when I resumed UI, that was 2012, 2013, there was this long ASU strike of 6 months. And I kept on telling my dad, I want to learn something. I was like, let me just get back in photography. Like, no, what are you looking for? Just stay at home. I aren't you eating? And so there was no push. I was
Oh,
really comfortable. But when I went to school, and I just took to myself that, you know what, let me just do something. I didn't tell my parents anything. I blocked them, like, I didn't let them know I was doing anything because it's unheard of for you to be in schooling in med school and doing something else, which is food. And my mom never, and my mom and dad never believe I can cook because I'm the
hmm.
in the hierarchy of cooking. My dad brother, my twin brother, than me. So like you, the last one, now so they can't really phantom in their head. But I think they do now, a bit.
Oh, that's great. That's really great. So at least now that we have a background of how your entrepreneurial story happened, so can you
Yeah.
tell us more about you? Like,
Okay.
let's know your main background, like
Okay.
school, what you study, just
Okay. Okay.
about
So
you.
um I have a background in hematology and blood bacteriology. So in school, it is under the course of medical laboratory science. Then in final year, you pick a major. So I picked hematology, and I finished. Uh, then I crossed over and play a major role in the tech sector than the health sector. So if you look at the health sector, you generally go to the hospital to attend to patients one on one. I feel that it's a good one, but you spend so much time one on one. So I believe that with tech, you can make it more geometric. So you can do something right now and can have that ripple effect across board,
Mm.
100 million, 10,000 people at once. So I feel like I can do very well there than just the one on one.
Oh, that's great. So, like, how many
Cool.
businesses or how many things do you have your hands in at the moment?
Okay. So, I have two food
Hmm.
businesses. That's one. Then I do some business development on the other hand. Then also I help out like a support kind of figure for Skill Engine, which is a employability and human capacity development platform. Then I think that's it really.
Four.
So for
So how do you manage to balance everything?
balance. So when you pass through medical school, you tend to know how to do so many at the same time. And that ability to multitask came from that setting. So you have school, you have your personal life, you also get to engage into all these various social activities, and you must not fail in all of them. So that strength came from being able to work or dwell in that setting, and it was a good one for me. And I picked up that area. So I just tell myself that whatever thing I'm doing, I break it down to the granular level. What is the task for each day? What is the time for each task? I do it and I'm done. So if you can break your activities or what you do in the more granular level, you should be able to manage it. And I know the number of things I can do at a go. So I don't overstretch myself.
Okay, okay. So, I mean, there's something you'll be talking about which I love a lot, which is food. So, I'm
Okay.
very curious, like, why two food companies instead of one?
Okay. Yes. So the very first one was the one I founded, which is Adam Street, while in school. The second is Bella Child. So during the pandemic in Ibadan, there was no way because of the lockdown, people couldn't get quality good food. We had many working class people, and the likes of the usual canteen and food restaurant were closed. So my a friend, two friends, it's already Ibrahim and Miss Fumi. We came together and said, why not create something that can give people good food in large quantities, not only just one plate, but if you want to have
Mm.
a father in 10 liters, in 20 liters, rice, why can't we just do that and serve people? And we had the clause of we could move freely during the COVID-19 period because we were
Mm.
logistics people. So you
Amazing.
could walk around that area, and that was how we started. Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. At least now I understand that part. So one you own, the other one you're a co-founder. I mean that's dope. So would you say the food business has actually been really profitable for you?
Yeah. So for me, it is because it's something that is necessary for every human to survive. If you look at the Ibadan market, many people in Ibadan love good food but for affordable prices. And if you can do that, people would buy into you. Well, but that one
Mm.
is totally different in Lagos here. So, but in Ibadan, you can actually, people love to eat good food, right? But if it is affordable, if it's hygienic, if you can give it on the go, I mean, people will buy into it. So there's the profitability of the food business over time. It's a necessity. You
All
can't do
right.
without it. Yes.
Okay. So now the part that I've actually been really, really, really interested in before I go into
Okay.
your success stories and your challenges and all because that's something that I really really want to know about because one thing we like to do at startup grind is you know how outside people are always talking about their successes, oh, aspire to perspire and Maguire
Yeah.
and all that is it.
Yeah.
And you know how
Definitely.
people always complain that, oh, you didn't tell us the exact way you did it and stuff like that. But here at Startup Grind, we like to hear about the failures and the struggles because we know that it's a continuous journey and how you've been able to cope with it and pull through. So yes, we're going to come to that because that's what I'm actually waiting for. But the other part I'm interested in right now is the human-centered design. So can you
Design.
educate us about it? I
Okay.
mean, for those of us that don't know what that is.
Okay. So human-centered design is sometimes called user-centered design, and it is a creative way of solving problem. But when you are solving a problem, obviously you are creating a solution. You are tailoring that solution to meet the needs and the specifications of the user. In our own context in Africa or Nigeria, most times we find a problem and we say, oh, this should be the solution. We now start tweaking the users or the humans to fit it. And at the end, you find that there's no sustainability one, there's no use, there's no adoption. So, for example, you go to communities and you find that they have water problems, but the councillor just said, feels that the water problem will be solved by just giving 3 boreholes. And 2 years, 1 year, you find out that that ball was not even functioning. It's not even serving the need. Probably the solution would have been that the roads were not motorable, the pipes were clogged, the boreholes were not so deep to reach water sources. So that's what human-centered design, trying to make tailor fit solutions to meet the end users or the people behind it. Yeah. And it can be in services, it can be in products, it can be anything.
Hey, well, that's actually
Yeah.
really, really nice because I try to liken it to, you know, how they talk about customer centricity and thinking about the customer and all of that.
Yeah.
Now, is thinking about
Yes.
humanity or
Yes.
humans
Yes.
for the
Yes.
user. Okay, that's
Yes.
actually really cool. So
Exactly.
how would you say how do I put it now? The rate of human centered design, like is it high? Is it low? Is it medium? Do most companies implement it?
Okay. Okay, in job market. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I can say in Nigeria we have relatively low number of HCD guys, that is designers. And we have other UI, you have UX, you have graphics, but in tech world or in the normal development world, we don't have core HCD guys. And some people have the understanding of of it in the basic form, but not in the real sense. And they try to use it. So you can see someone that says he's a design thinker, but he or she believes. And if you look at the principles of HCD and design thinking, they're almost similar, but they're not the same. And you'll find that they basically can almost do similar things, but in different fashions. Companies, not all companies have HCD guys. I know in Nigeria we have very few. And if you look at the HCD guys, they are basically around the health sector, really. Health or tech sector. Other sectors don't really have HCD guys. And it's hard to start explaining your relevance to some people. I remember when I was looking for a placement with some top organizations, it was hard to explain what I was doing or who I was, or the relevance. I was hard, but I think with time, we can be able to bridge that gap. So CCHub started human centered design approach. That was, I think, last year. Over time, we've developed people that are competent in this fashion. So you can say next 5 years, I have more people that have this mindset and can also become competent in this area.
Okay, so that you've literally answered the next
Great.
question I was going to ask. Was about people joining and all of that. But
Okay.
that's great. I really hope they can bridge
Okay.
the gap because I mean, from your explanation, you can see that it's something that is really important that almost everybody or every business or every outfit literally needs.
Yes. Yes. Organizations, businesses, whether you are non-profit or for profit, the government, because in every sector you have problems. Health, for example, fintech, corporate society, development, product management, petrochemicals. You have so many problems. And obviously, the problems are suffered by people, humans, not animals. And obviously, if you want to solve the problem, you want it the most sustainable, feasible, and cost-effective way, which is where HTD comes in, how you can look at the problem and say, you know what, in 3 months, 6 months, we can solve this problem, provided that you give us the resources. So we don't need the billions, we need very cost-effective amounts to solve the problem. So, I mean, it has a wide range. It's not only just the tech, but every sector, governance, politics, particularly. Yeah.
So we're definitely going to come back to talk more about HD. But now let's quickly jump into the part we're waiting
Okay,
for.
great.
So, which would you like to start with? Your
Okay.
success stories or the struggles or failures that you? Okay, so in your entrepreneurial
Any
journey,
struggles?
what would you say has
Yeah.
been your worst moment and biggest failure?
Hmm. I'll just merge them together. My worst moment happened, I think, in 2018. So I had finished school then. I was booked to cater for an event, a conference. No, it's a conference. Like a conference, a 5 day conference. I was by an organization in school. So they met me like 9 months before that they wanted me to cater for them and all. So they did the food tasting, they did all the due diligence and all. So imagine them meeting in February and the event will happen in October. So when it was October, the event was start, I think, the third week in October, and I felt like, oh, let me reach out to this guy to know how far to get like just to agree on certain things so I can start the preparation for their food or their catering. Then I called and they said that the vice chancellor, no, not vice chancellor, the provost had done a due diligence on me and found out I'm not competent enough, and they couldn't tell me. And imagine you turning down all gigs, all engagement, even relocating because of this event. Then you now get to hear that they say that you're not competent enough. That really broke my heart. Yes, I remember that I was on the bike going back home in the evening and I was crying and the breeze was blowing my eye, like tail was moving like what? I felt really broken because if I didn't even ask, no one even cared to tell me. And there was no way anyone would do diligence that I will not be informed that this is what happened, or just come and ask me certain questions. Not that you just, how do you even do due diligence when you don't even know my where I cook, my restaurant, my CAC registration, nothing. However, it was politics because I believe that they wanted to just foot their own person to do the catering and all. But I mean, it was one of the lowest.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was actually really sad. Should I say
It
heartbreaking?
was okay. It was a learning process for me too as well. Thank you.
I
No
can
problem. It's
really,
fine.
really imagine how that feels. Like putting your hopes up and all. In fact, personally for me, I didn't even know how.
I felt it was my biggest break. I felt like biggest break because I was catered for 1,000 people. I had already reached out to a couple of friends who were in the kitchen set place. So I was like, oh, we have to collaborate to make this thing
Oh
work.
my
We had
god!
gotten ushers ready. We had done a lot of budgeting. We had even signed agreements. Yes, I have the agreement and everything, but it
Well,
happens
at
actually.
least
It happens.
you
Yes.
grew from that. But I think no plan to do something wicked to them
Yes.
also. I think you plan to do something wicked to
So
them. Like maybe what?
no, 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 no. So I feel like everyone that goes into line of business will have their struggles at some point. Just take some learnings from it. There's no need to trying to prove anything to anyone, but prove to yourself that and you're not what they say you are. People can say a lot of things about you, but prove to yourself that you can actually do better than what they expect of you.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that was something like. Well, maybe if this was like many years after, just like now, this is how I would be speaking. But I feel like at that moment, I was just want to probably I don't even know what I would want to do because
Okay.
on a normal day, like I wouldn't have gone that
So,
far. That's like all the planning that you have done, but like just the hope of you having such a huge event, and then you just dash it.
yeah, so you can't even, yeah, you can't even plan. You can't say you're catering for 1,000 people when you're not if you start planning 3, 4, 5, 6 months before.
Mhm.
You don't want it to flop. So you need to get a lot of things in place, get your mind together, a lot of things, just sketch work and all.
Okay,
But it happened like
but
that.
in
It's okay
HCD,
actually.
have you experienced any challenges so far? HCD or
In
career in
what?
HCD?
HCD. Surprisingly, none because no, I won't say I haven't, but the geometry of challenge is not per se because I work with a startup that is super huge, and they have that pull they can get things on. I can guarantee you, once they put their mind in something, they can get things done. And you are not alone while working. So you have a lot of resources, a lot of people with expertise that you can work with, collaborations you can make that can make things happen. So I don't think I've had major challenges. The only challenge is when you try to explain who you are. That's the challenge. Like HCD and the like designer, human centered. When you try to explain, they don't really get it until you give them a
Great.
context, then they find
Okay.
it easy.
So at least now we're talking about failures and struggles. Do you foresee anyone in the future, like future challenges? And we know how they say, oh, be hopeful and all of that. But like, if you were to foresee any challenge coming up, like, what do you think it would be in either of your careers, whether food or HCD?
I've not thought about this really, but the challenge for me would be to the challenge I see in future concerning my food business is to scale up more. So I have this aspiration of owning a good 5-star restaurant in major cities, and challenge that how to scale up effectively, how to also get funding to do that. But that's my immediate challenge in terms of food. For each I don't see any really. I don't see any challenge because the sky is endless for HED. And since it's tech, and if you look at tech keep on growing amazing well I guess to come. So I don't see myself having a challenge in a major way in design.
So we have a question here. How can entrepreneurs infuse human
Okay.
design to their strategy to capture more markets?
This is a very nice question. Thank you so much, Daniel. So let me read again. How can entrepreneurs infuse human-centered design to a strategy to capture more market? So I'll make it a practical scenario, right? So that you can understand it more. So when you're thinking of capturing more market to transfer to people, that means people that will buy a product or your services. The best way is that before you start selling or offering a product or service, you need to understand what they actually want and need. So if you are going to, let me say, the food market, for example, what is that ideal need of your customer? You can't have every customer in all the places, but you have like an ideal prospective customer. So do your diligence, go and meet them and ask the right questions. If you are selling food, what kind of food do you want to eat? Oh, I want to eat akara, I want to eat boli, I want to eat local food. Okay, local food, in what ways do you like it to be served? Or do you want it to be in plates? Do you want it to be in leaves, in nylons? Okay, is that what is the quantity that you love? Oh, two wraps or two is it fingers of boli, one this of this, the quantity. Okay, if it's that, what is the pricing that you can afford for this? Now, when you have all these things aligned, you can now be able to target the right market because when you throw it out, they'll just grab it. It's like metal and magnet, it sticks together. I think it's just, let me use the word juju, people would really want to adopt and buy into it. So let me give an instance. I don't know if you are based in Lagos, but when OP started, OP was 100 naira, 20 naira, 30 naira. People could bike or fly mainland island with 30 naira, 40 naira. It was easy. People were adopting it. The next one was OP because you can actually call a bike and it meets you at that point and you can go to wherever in minutes. So it's something like that. They did their diligence, they infused that human style design approach. They tailored their solutions, their product or service to meet the end users. and as such, you would definitely have a good market to make profit at the end of the day. I don't know if this answers your question.
I guess it's good. I mean, that was actually really, really practical. Thank you for breaking it down that way. Yes. So,
Thank you.
pending when we get maybe other questions, let's proceed with our own. So, I think that we talked about failures. Now, let's talk
Okay.
about your successes in
Okay.
both areas, like in the food business and in HTD. Yeah.
Okay. So in the food business, I won't say that that big major successes because I have a cap for my own success. But I feel like I've just grown over time and I've been able to understand my business more, right? And I'm able to establish more um, customers. So I know that there's a regular set of people that would buy into my product or my services in a month, and that figures. For an 8CD, I think basically what places I didn't believe I would be. So, for example, there's a project I'm working on with my team at CCHub, and we're trying to reduce postpartum hemorrhage across 3 states, so Lagos, Niger, and Kano. And there was a day I was just thinking to myself that we're having a meeting, and on the on the call was the virtual call. I just saw lots of names that popped, and I felt there's this fear like, I'm the only youngest person here. And it's a good feeling. So people tend to recognize you that in spite of anything, you can offer something, you have value to give as an HD person, even though you're still relatively new in the system, you have something to give. And I feel that's a big win for me and a good achievement.
That's
So
great.
yeah,
Okay.
basically.
So, concerning human-centered design, is there any
Thank
other
you.
thing you'd love to share? I mean, since our theme is putting the
Okay.
human angle in design, sure, go ahead, knock us out.
Yes. So yeah, putting the human angle to design, I believe that this is this should be something everyone should understand very well because if you look at everything we are doing in the world, we are solving problems. Our lecturers are in school to solve our problems of what illiteracy. Our doctors are in the hospital to solve our problems of ailments. Nurses, our lawyers are there. So how can we adapt um, design, infuse that human centricity to design. And I believe that the very first way is to first understand whatever you are dealing with. Don't assume that you understand it. The person that has been affected, you need to understand it from his own point of view. You can't tell someone to stop drinking alcohol when you understand the person's issues. So you need to understand, then now profile a solution with that person in context. In HCD, we have 6 ways to solve a problem, 6 steps. The very first is to discover. If I meet you and I say, or you meet me and tell me that the problem of water or insecurity in Ibadan, it is onus for me to discover the problem. You've told me, I've heard, but I need to discover it. So I have to go to Ibadan and understand that. What is the actual problem? Interact with everybody in Ibadan. I might not be able to interact with everybody, but like a subset of Ibadan, say Bodija or Olioli, interact and understand what they are saying. Oh, we have problem of insecurity. We have issues with theft. We have burglars. Understand it from that point of view. Then the second stage is to the first stage is to discover. Second is to understand. So when you understand it, you know your facts, you know your data. That data to back whatever you're saying. Then you now start co-creating. So C, D is to discover, U is to understand, C is to co-create. Bring all people in Oluyole, in Bodija, the subsets together and say, I've heard about your problems. I'm here to just guide you through to building the solution, right? So we need to co-create. Listen to them. So what you now ask everyone, This is like an interactive session. What do you think is your best solution? What do you think can work for you? It's active, so you have to assume the role of an active listener. Listen to everything they're saying, right? And pick all that has been said. Then go back to the drawing board and make out the most feasible, the most realistic solution that can be done or achieved in record time. Obviously, every project has a time frame, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months. So if your project is 6 months, look at the solution that they have given that can be fit into that 6 months or 1 year. Then, when you develop it, you create, start testing it. So they say, oh, we need a robot that can help us fight karate, that can help us kill or prevent robbery. Develop a robot, for example, or a miniature robot that can actually do that. Now, test, and test. See if it works. Does it work? If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, start to iterate it. And when you achieve that 100% success, then you can now say, oh, I think I can go for a full implementation, right? So you have gone through the process, you have put that human centricity into the design, you've designed a solution that will be sustainable, that will be cost effective. Normally, if you had a project budget of 10 million and you deployed 10 million naira into that, you might have spent so much money in developing a solution that might not work. Sometimes halfway, you find out what you're doing might not even work. You have to iterate and iterate, but then you have spent that money. So it's not even cost effective. $10 million. Why not use 500K or 250 to test it in a small fashion? The eventual 9 point something million, it will definitely work. So that's really perfect. So in all, you've been able to solve a problem. You've introduced the people into the solution creation. At the end, they will adopt it. It will be feasible. So when you leave that scene, they'll feel like it's their own.
Great, thank you.
And they will adopt at the end of the day.
Very much.
Yes.
Wow. Cool. I feel like I've really been schooled today on HCC. At least now I understand it very well. If somebody talking about it in public, I can come and say, "Oh yes, we know about
Thank
this.
you.
Like we have like such a low percentage of people in that. Like almost everybody needs to implement that in their business." And then
And it's not something it's like I said that you can use it anyway, even in your normal life, your normal day-to-day life, you can use it. It's a mindset thing. It's not that I didn't go to school to learn it, right? It was just something I picked on the way. And I believe everyone can pick it up. And the more you
thank you for
use
pointing
interact with
that
the
out because I was
process,
about
the more
to
you
ask,
get
like,
better.
okay, so is it something that people go to school to learn, or you take courses online, or how exactly do you learn it? In case you try to say, okay, I want to get into this field as well.
So, courtesy of CCHub's design fellowship, that was last year. I joined the fellowship, so the core thing that we thought about is HCD. So I was able to go through the process. And afterwards, I began working with
Hmm.
them. So in 3 6 months, you can become a professional in it. All you need to do is to keep on what improving and working on what you have. Just like there's the saying, perfection comes with practice. So I believe not all tech skills
Hmm.
needs that lengthy 2 3 4 years that we spend in school. Right? The photography can be learned on YouTube in 2 3 months. UI UX in 3 months you can become a beginner if you put the mind and the axe to it. And like I always say, learn it, then go to places like Udemy, EDX, Khan Academy, get certificates. So whenever someone says, "Are you certified in that?" and like, okay, yeah, this is I have it. So you have the skill set, you have the certification because in this world, many people gel with certificates, like showing that thing. So you have two things to show that you are competent in it, as well as you have the skill.
All right,
I
that's
mean the
great. That's
certificate.
great.
So it really works for
Okay,
anyone, right?
so moving away from all the serious parts a bit now. So, what exactly do you do in your spare time when you're
Okay.
not running your businesses? Yes, like what are your hobbies?
Spare time. So spare time. Hmm. Spare time, eh? I
Hmm.
do love YouTube, like movies, comedy, Netflix. I'm not a serious person, so I'm not a serious person. Yeah, I don't do that at all because I feel like it's my pet and I need to just relax. So then I meet up with friends, family, just relax, just normal thing. But I don't do serious things. Sometimes I try to cook. Sometimes try to cook. So the very first recipe I made was through my leisure time. I just picked up a cookery and like, oh, there was a pancake thing. Oh, use butter, use this. I tried it like
Well,
once
I'm
and it
jealous
came out
that you
well.
tried it
I
once
can
and it
adopt
came
that.
out well. Because I tried baking and sometimes I don't know what I did.
Hmm.
Well,
What
I
are your
take
problem with baking?
measurements
What are
as
your
well.
challenges in baking? It doesn't come out fine.
Well, yeah, like
Okay, okay. I
well,
think
that's
I can
that's
relate that
cool.
one.
Like
Yeah.
not everyone can be that lucky to get it on their first try. Like, is there anything
Ah,
you have ongoing that you'd like to
ah.
share with us? Maybe a project, a new product, something to your ad.
Hmm. Okay. Well, okay. So I'll just follow my Bella Chow. So Bella Chow currently runs in Ibadan, and we cater for events, we cater for individual meals. But our meals, we don't do one-on-one. We do minimum of 10 orders. So if you want the very best of amazing meals, cocktails, drinks, parties, just call up on us. I can actually give you a discount. So you can call up on us between now and the 20th. You can get like 20% discount. So that really works for anyone. Yeah, so just try to reach out to me, or I'll drop a number she can also share with everyone. Reach
Oh, that's
out,
great. That's
book,
great. Thank you
and you get
very
your
much.
discount. Easy
Yes.
as that.
So
Cool.
let me see. What else can we do before
Thanks.
we go?
Right.
Okay. So I mean, normally, as it is with almost every program, show,
Hmm.
event, all you have to do at the end, you have to share parting words. But before then, like, what's your vision for your company and for HCD in Nigeria?
So my vision currently, if you look at the food industry, let me not talk on food. Let me just talk on the health part of food. My vision is that we can come to a place where we can treat ailments, we can treat disease with food, right? Instead of going to the usual hospital, drugs, and all, we can actually treat um, ailments with food. And I believe that is very possible. So look at the classes of food. We have so many food with huge vitamins or mineral resources. I believe that if you can work on a good ratio, work on a good combination, we can actually achieve that. And our parents those days, they didn't take drugs like us, they didn't take medication, and they live longer. So if you can actually go back to eating healthy, that kind of healthy lifestyle, yeah, then our expectancy rate for Nigerians can actually greatly improve. For HCD, my goal is that in next 10 years, I can implement so many HCD projects that can help strengthen the public health sector. So I'm working in the public health sector of CCHub. So the next 10 years, I'm using projects that can improve a public health sector of
Okay. I
Nigeria
hope you
moving forward.
achieve all your goals
Basically.
and you see your visions come to life. Yes. So
Thank you so
finally, the
much.
sad part. Okay,
Thank you
not
so
so sad anyway. I will. I hate goodbyes, but before then.
much.
So, what advice would you give yourself? Your how? There's a
Okay.
way they put that word like, okay, your teenage self or your much younger self. Yes, what advice
I
would
didn't
you
get the
give
question,
your
so I
much
didn't get
younger
the question.
self?
Okay, what would I tell my much younger self?
Hmm.
Okay, so I think it's more to believe about yourself more because while I came to UI, that confidence reduced. You guys show me Pepe. You guys show me Pepe. No, because I from this angle of I can do everything, but when I came to UI, I was just struggling to fit in and all. But I think towards the end, I just picked that. You know what? Just do the way it is. There's no perfect structure, or perfect pattern, and that's why I just left UI and all. So I believe that my younger self should believe so much in your abilities and capacities. Know your strength and work on your strength. Don't go to your weaker areas. If you know you are strong in this area,
Okay.
do it and all.
Oh,
That's it.
finally, what are your parting words? Advice to other people. I guess to
So advice everyone is this. Your big breakthrough will definitely come. It's cliche, but it's the truth. To achieve something, you need to pay a price. Price it might not be steep. It might be steep, depending on what you're working on or doing. But just wholeheartedly devote time to do the work. I can guarantee you, sooner than later, you would get everything you wish for in terms of growth, promotion, in terms of acknowledgement, progress. They will definitely come. But just do it and work on your strength more. If you know that you are weak in an area, if you can work on it, fine. If you can't, just work on your strength and be a demigod there. Just pick something you're good and work on that. So leave
word,
everything
word,
alone.
word, word. Yeah,
Uh,
it was
I
so
mean,
much fun hosting you, Kehinde Muraina.
thank
Yes,
you
you're
so
such a vibe, and
much. Thank you
and I'm
so much.
glad we got to talk about food.
Thank you so much.
It's something that I love as well. So we're also
Thank
looking forward to
you.
hosting you at a
Thank
physical
you so much. Thank
event.
you.
Maybe when we start having our physical events, we're definitely good to reach out to
I'll
you so you can
definitely.
come join our
Yes.
community. So thank you for your
Yes.
time and for sharing your
Yes.
knowledge with us.
Thank you so much.
So we are finally, I mean, we even finished really early. Like,
Thank you
we
so
stopped the
much.
time. We still have like 4 minutes.
Wow. Nice.
So yes,
Exactly.
yes, yes. Like, how are you
Thank you
celebrating
so
this
much.
Christmas, this festive period? What are you doing this holiday?
Like I'm not even that. I'm not. Okay, so I'm not the party type. So my ideal break was just seriously. If you were inviting me to a party, I would come. But I'm not that like, oh, I'm going to come and I can't do that. So, but first period, what I would do
Hmm.
is just stay at home. There should be food at home. Stay
Hmm.
on intelligent. What you that's it.
I
That's all.
shall also come to your house and come and carry your
I don't
plenty food.
understand. Friend,
Because you make it sound like, oh, there's abundance of food in my house.
no
Oh,
problem.
wow.
It's for 1 month. It's for 1 month. So you see. But you can actually come. I can also actually can actually come. No problem.
Oh, that's
We'll say
great.
I
That's
can.
great. So thank you so
No
much once
problem.
again. And this video, if you want to go to the replays, go to be on the website,
So
and we're also going to share it on YouTube. So
okay,
I'll send you the link. But even if I don't, which I
okay,
will,
okay,
it's
great.
something that if you just go to startupguide.com/Ibadan and check
Okay,
out past events, you see the video. Oh, so thank you.
okay,
Have a lovely evening and enjoy the rest
okay,
of the
okay.
day.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you too. Bye.